Okay, so not many games get to be called the most anticipated game of the year, and not many games can live up to that hype. And to be honest, it's kind of difficult, but is Spider-Man 2 on that boat? Hi, my name's Phantom, and these are my thoughts on Spider-Man 2. First thing you'll notice in this game is mixed reviews on the graphics. I personally got a bug that made my game look as old and watched out as like Watch Dogs 2, and luckily it fixed up in my last few hours, and I can admit that the graphics are pretty damn impeccable when that happened, because the city looks great and everything in it looks nice. But for most of my runtime it looked terrible and very foggy, very weird. Characters look weird too. But when it was finally fixed, I still realized that it looked worse than the remastered PS5 version of Spider-Man, which is upsetting because that came out a couple years ago. But that doesn't matter too much. What does matter is the lack of creativity and customization. They kept many of the same suits and added colorways to some of them, and I must admit, a couple of new ones are cool, and I'm glad to see a couple of returning suits. But it felt like an add-on more than a new game's roster of skins. Kinda like something COD would do back to back. It's annoying. But what's more important than that is the combat in a literal superhero game, which feels too much like the original. Sure, they switched things up, but a changed UI and a small amount of skills end up not changing much. The combat against most of the enemies is starting to get dull and very boring at times, but can sometimes be satisfying, especially in big boss battles because of the new parry and the heightened difficulty of combat. But besides that, combat isn't special anymore. In the meantime, you can collect items by doing some tasks that are boring. There's only 2 side quests in the game that actually stood out to me. Those 2 side quests, though, I've gotta admit, are some of the best 2 side quests I've ever seen in a game in a minute. It's something that was really special, and I hope a lot of other people experience them, but not everything is as perfect as that one. Everything else is practically a snooze fest that I dealt with because there is just one thing that kept me playing the whole time. Swinging around the city from area to area is just the most satisfying way to navigate this grand map. It had so much on the original and plenty more ways to swing or glide through these new areas, and it's just awesome swinging around the city of Spider-Man, guys. Anyways, I gotta talk about this story, which is honestly okay. Although I like many beats in this plot, they just fell flat on trying to become 2 little big moments and many small, which, I mean, that's okay, except when you're playing as Spider-Man, this huge plot that's clearly getting bigger and bigger, and instead it just flops into some random moments that's not really important, because it happens a lot through the plot. But at least the focus on some of the characters makes them way stronger than ever without failing to make me immerse in every single one, down to some of the smallest roles. And the acting performances are so perfection. Everyone embodies their character realistically and amazingly perfect. Down to small lines or even crazy moments, I was never lost from this plot because of their standout voice acting and physical performance.
I saw your story.
I tried to tell you about that.
Yeah, but you didn't, did you?
I can't lose this job.
Your job is to write the truth.
I did.
The truth is, I'm the hero here, not you.
Music is also great, but you've heard me say this a couple times, too familiar at times, mostly because it felt like a mix of Spider-Man PS4 and Miles Morales' beats, and then they just blended them in an awesome way, but you could tell that they did that, and that's what sucks about it. Lastly, the performance is, well, this is probably going to take the longest section to talk about. When it comes to clear fidelity and frames per second, the game runs great, but then the crashes and the bugs are outrageous. One of my crashes didn't just stop my game like most do, It gave my first entire full system crash since I got on the PlayStation 5. And the bug of my game looking like a washed out Watch Dogs 2 was outrageous and ruined most of my experience with the game. There's also a couple of glitches here and there, but a lot of the glitches were pretty goofy besides those. Anyways, if you're wondering, I do recommend this game. It's a great game, and it's a great game that makes you feel like Spider-Man 2. I'm sorry. I had to try IGN on that one. Anyways, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Which is funny because if this game wasn't a buggy mess, it would easily clear the last two games. But the launch of this game makes me place it alongside the other two at an 8.5. If you want the game, I'll leave a link in the description section. Any questions or concerns will be answered in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please drop a like. And if you want more content like this, please subscribe. That's it from me. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Also, keep doing great things. You're good at them. Bye. He clapped me.